Today's guest is Hunter Mounce. Based in Nashville, Hunter is using his quality songwriting to make a name for himself in his local scene. Fresh off the release of his latest single, One Good Reason, welcome Hunter.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going well. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, man.
That's good. So yeah, let's start back at the beginning for you. Where were you born and raised, and how did music first come into your life?
All right, so I was born in Springfield, Missouri. I grew up in Pleasant Hill, Missouri. Pleasant Hill is just south of Kansas City, about 30 minutes. Um, and then I got into music kind of by accident. I just kind of started playing around the campfire in high school at a couple bonfires. It was just something that started out as simple as that. Um, there was a couple guys that I knew who wanted to who were looking for a band, and so I met a drummer, and I went to high school with a guy who played bass, and so I was just I was just getting into playing guitar and singing, and I was like, all right, well, let's get a band together. So it started out just me, a drummer, and a bass player, Caleb Bird, Eric Bronze. We started this band called Barbed Wire Revolt. It was in Kansas City, and uh, not too much time went by. We found our lead guitar player. It was a friend of a friend situation. There's always somebody who knows somebody who plays an instrument. Is basically what I'm saying. So we started playing some shows, just local Kansas City area. A lot of 4-hour cover gigs, things like that. Um, and it just kind of evolved from there. I got a fire department job offered down here where I currently work now in Hendersonville, Tennessee. And whenever I took that job and moved here, I just I've been pursuing it since the day that I moved here. 4.5 years ago, and just trying to just kind of go where the wind takes me. And it's been a very exciting ride so far. Something I never thought I would do, and something I never planned to do. It was just very sporadic, and yeah, I've been enjoying it though.
That's awesome, man. So let's take it back a bit. What kind of music did you listen to growing up? Was it family musical? Was it just you?
So growing up, I listened to a lot of 90s country. So I so I listened to a lot of country growing up. I can remember one of the first memories that I had was with my dad. We were riding around in his truck, and we were listening to like Brooks and Dunn, Mark Chestnut, Tracy Bird, Tracy Lawrence, people like that. And I remember always wanting to know who was uh, singing singing whatever song I was hearing. I always ask my dad, who's singing this, Dad, and he would always tell me. And so I always had an interest of basically who to give credit to whenever I heard a song that I liked. And I just think that really started my love for music at a very early age. I listened to a little bit of classic rock whenever I was, uh, probably in my middle school years, a little bit in high school, I guess, but overwhelmingly, it's been uh, it's been country music that I listen to and that I've been inspired by. And then I would say probably 2014, 2015, that time frame, I discovered the Texas country music scene, and that is something that is just totally it's been a new breath of fresh air to me. And it's just that continues to inspire me daily. There's just so many great artists coming out of Texas, and to me, it seems very genuine, very real. But still, there's a ton of different sounds you can find within that scene. So that has been that's been a great it's been a great discovery.
Interesting. Yeah, for me and those other listeners who might not know what separates the Texas country scene from the rest, is there anything like specifically in the way of it sounds or sonically that kind of makes the Texas scene its own thing?
So this is just my opinion. It seems like the Texas scene it feels like the evolution of where I thought country music was going to go. Coming out of the '90s, a lot of fiddle, a lot of steel, a lot of like humorous, clever songwriting. But then you also have your really dark, depressing, sad, drinking, cheating songs, that kind of thing. But it almost feels like the next evolution of where I thought country music was headed. I know, especially the Nashville scene. It's no secret that music has evolved into more of a country pop type thing on the mainstream scale. So I just feel like the Texas country music scene is almost more of what I listened to growing up. So I think that's why I identify so well with it.
That's really cool to know. Yeah,
Yeah.
so back in your own story, when did you first start playing guitar and songwriting and stuff like that, like actually doing music for yourself?
So once I learned a few basic chords, my first year of college would have been 2013. And then 2014, I moved to Springfield, Missouri, to go to a community college just outside of Missouri State. Lived in a very small apartment there. I got more serious about learning how to play guitar. I started posting some more cover videos to socials, things like that. And then I remember one day, for some reason, I had the thought, if anybody's ever going to take me serious, I have got to start writing my own songs. So I wrote a song called "Can't Get Enough" by myself in my 600 square foot apartment there in Springfield, and I posted it to socials. I didn't expect anybody to really think anything of it. Didn't really expect anybody to like it. I just wanted to, start the process of writing my own songs, and lo and behold, we had just a really great response to me writing my own original music. And to this day, "Can't Get Enough" is probably the most popular song among my fans. That's what people want to hear at live shows. We usually close out the live shows with that song. It's on my debut album, Folks Like Me and You, that came out 2 years ago. So it's just a wild thing because, to me, I feel like as I practice and I get better at songwriting and I'm exploring different things, I feel like people are gonna like, my new stuff, and they do like my new stuff, but it always seems to come back to where it first started with that song "Can't Get Enough," and that's the one they want to hear, the most. And that's really what that song is really what motivated me to keep writing my own music, because going to a live show or playing a live show and seeing people sing your song, something that you wrote down, it's hard to not find that motivating.
Yeah, absolutely. What was the driving factor that made you want to write songs for yourself in the first place, like leading up to that song? Because that song seemed like it carried you on forward. But what made you
hmm
want to play guitar and what made you want to write songs before that?
Before that, really shallow answer coming here. I just wanted to be like the cool guy at parties that was playing guitar, impressing the ladies, singing a cover here and there, whatever. I guess I just did it because I wanted to fit in a little better, and I wanted people to think I was cool. I mean, that sounds dumb, but that's literally how it started. And then once I started writing my own music and people started gravitating toward that. That's when I started to find a deeper meaning. And I was like, okay, music is something that I want to take it seriously and I want to pursue it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So once you released that song and started taking off, and you decided to take it more seriously, what did you decide to do next? Like, what were the steps in your mind you wanted to take? Was it just simply write more songs? Was it play shows? What'd you
Um, so I wrote that song a couple years before I ever got the chance to record it. And I remember always wanting to, once I started writing songs, I remember always wanting to have a high quality recordings of my music. And that was something that I had my sights set on. And even before I moved to Nashville, I remember calling the guy that produces all my music. His name's Kenny Royster. I remember calling him, and I was about to schedule a trip down here just to record 2 or 3 songs. So even if I didn't live here, I wanted to record my music. And I guess I just knew that it would just give so much more legitimacy to what I was doing.
Yeah, makes a ton of sense. And, it seems like it sure did.
Yeah.
What was your experience with Nashville before moving out there? Have you ever, were you just there for recording before? Had you visited? Kind of what were your impressions of it?
So I had never been to Nashville before. All I really knew about it was kind of the myth of it, I guess you could say, just kind of what I'd seen on TV, which I know now was definitely a more romanticized, glamorous snapshot of it as opposed to the reality of it. But I'd never been before. I came down here for the first time ever. I guess I came down here one time for a weekend with one of my friends. I remember really loving it, thinking it was awesome. And then a couple years later, I came down for a job interview at the fire department that I work at right now, thinking that I would never get the job, by the way. But as soon as I found out that I did get the job, even though I'd only been in Nashville twice, I knew that it was a place that I wanted to live, and it was something that I wanted to take a chance on. So even though it was new and kind of foreign to me, I'd seen enough of it, and I knew I wanted to take the chance on it. So those two things, those two feelings that I had, I knew that I had to get down here.
Yeah. What was it like when you first got there? Was it hard to get yourself more ingrained in the system, or is it really just easy for you and kind of a natural thing?
Man, I don't think any step of this ride for me has really felt natural at all. I didn't come from a musical background, didn't really have a musical family. My mom sang. Didn't know how to play guitar. Nobody I knew how to play guitar. And then coming down here, I didn't know one single person. So it was very, very hard to get myself kind of immersed in the scene with other people. I remember when I first moved, I was going out quite a bit trying to meet people. Like I remember going to Whiskey Jam when I first got to town, and whenever you tell people that you're brand new here, and maybe I was a little socially awkward too. It was just kind of hard to get friends to stick. And I remember meeting my roommate now, one of the guys that lives here at the house. I remember meeting him one of the first times I went out in Nashville, and we were friends from that point. And being friends with him it got my confidence up to go out and find more friends and stuff like that. But man, it was brutal just coming to a new place, knowing nobody, being a little bit shy, having a little bit of a social anxiety going out as it is anyway. So it took me, I'll say it took me a good year to really have any kind of friends down here. And it took even longer than that for me to play any music down here. there was one or two. There was a couple things I was doing. I was either working at the fire department, sitting alone in my my 1-bedroom apartment in Hendersonville, or I was going out to shows trying to meet people, and somehow I do have friends down here now. So I'm glad to say that those uncomfortable days, for the most part, are behind me.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, progress seems to happen, and you've got a great sound, so of course it's going to catch on.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, of course. What's your live experience been around Nashville now that you've had some more experience under your belt? Have you played a lot of shows? Do you like playing shows? How does that go?
So I haven't really played a ton of live shows in Nashville. The few that I have played have been almost more like showcase type formats, like a whiskey jam or a bus call, something like that, where there's 6 or 7 different bands and each band gets to play 3 songs, let's just say. Now, something that I do a little more of, I do like to play songwriter rounds. I know next weekend I'm playing the Listening Room. That's a songwriter round. That's on Saturday morning. And then the day after, I'm playing Raised Rowdy's Rowdy on the Row at Live Oak, and that's Sunday evening. And those are both songwriter round formats. There's 3 or 4 people per hour, and they each take turns playing a song until the time is expired. So the reason I play more songwriter rounds when it comes to playing in Nashville, the reason I play more songwriter rounds than I do playing with a band is because the kind of shows that I'm limited to full band wise, it's all money going out and no money really coming in. So like a lot of these showcases are awesome and it's an honor to play them, but I got to pay my band guys, and these shows, I don't get paid to play these shows. So it's a bit of a financial burden. Whereas these songwriter rounds, they're totally free. You just get up there and play. Now, when it comes to getting outside of Nashville and playing full band shows, I'm all about that. I'll do that as much as I possibly can as it works with my work schedule. So you can make a lot better money whenever you get outside of Nashville, and people are very excited to see you, especially when they find out how far you've come to see them. And I also got to acknowledge this. So the reason I don't play on Broadway much, you can make a lot of money playing full band on Broadway. The reason I don't play on Broadway very much is because at the fire department, we work 24 hours on and 48 hours off. So, basically each month looks like a stair step. If you work on Wednesday, the next week you'll be working on Tuesday, and the week after that you'll be working on Monday. So you can't ever really it's not like I could play the same slot every Friday or Saturday night at a bar on Broadway. And in order to play on Broadway, which is where you will make money, you have to play the same slots over and over week after week. So it's something, playing live shows is something tough that I'm learning how to balance. But that's kind of how I do it right now.
Yeah, that's an interesting dynamic to hear about, not only on your personal life, your job, but how Nashville works, where the writers' rounds are kind of like the financially stable way to get out there, I guess.
Yeah. Yep.
Definitely interesting. Yeah. So what's something you wish you would have known in your first 6 months or a year being in Nashville, or you would have learned a lot sooner?
Something I wish I would have learned a lot sooner. And this is going to sound bad because like I said, I've been here almost 5 years. And I feel like I'm just now really starting to figure it out. There's a lot of distractions, and there's so many opportunities to constantly compare yourself to other people in the scene. And, if you're not careful, you can get kind of jaded about things, and you can get, at times I feel like I've been ungrateful, and I've let things like that kind of steal the joy of music away from me. But I had to remember that that the reason I'm doing this ultimately is because I enjoy it. So if I could tell my younger self when I first moved here something, it would be just, man, don't ever let anything steal your joy of music. Just don't let the mental battle wear you down to a point to where you don't enjoy doing music. And I know that's something that's not talked about very much, but there are a lot of things that go on, whether it be, you know, outside influences or things going on in your own head that can really make you despise music at certain points. So I just try to remember that I have fun doing this. I don't do this stuff because I have to. I do this stuff because I want to, and that is something that I would love to tell my younger self, not to worry about anything but what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, not only for yourself, but for other artists out there, I think it's such a relatable thing that so many artists
Mm-hmm.
have to go through. There's so many blocks, like you said. So yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
totally agree. What's something you're excited for? It's coming up, or like, what are you excited for?
Man, I know I know I just mentioned them, but these two shows I have coming up next weekend in Nashville. I mean, uh, I went and saw my friends at the Listening Room a couple weekends ago, the same slot that I'm playing, and it was sold out. There wasn't an open seat in there. Super excited for that. Um, and then this Raised Rowdy on the Row thing next Sunday night. Last time I went to it, I had to wait in line for 3 or 4 hours because it was at capacity and nobody could get in. And it's just, I don't get the opportunity to play shows like this in Nashville very much. And I'm just super, super excited to do something like that. They're the kind of shows and the kind of events that when I first moved to Nashville, when I was going out just trying to meet friends, I would look at the people up on these stages and I would go, man, it just feels like I'm never going to be the person up there on the stage actually doing it. And now I am. And both of these shows are thanks to some really good friends that I have. Nick Tressler at Raised Rowdy asked me to play the Rowdy on the Row, and then my friend Molly Lovett, she asked me to do the Listening Room thing. So it's things are all starting to come full circle, and I feel like I'm finally getting to a point where things are starting to line up for me in this town. It takes a long time. At least it has for me. I know there's a couple people I know who moved here, and as soon as they moved here, they had a publishing deal and they had a record deal and this and that, and that's great. But man, that is not how it's been for me. But I'm very thankful for my journey so far. But I'm very excited about those coming up.
Yeah, that's going to be so fun. I'm excited for you. And
Yeah,
then talk
thank
about
you.
your journey so far. Let's talk about your journey coming up. What are your long-term goals with music?
Um, so biggest long term goal for me is to be a full time musician, make my living 100% by doing music, and my band who travels with me. I would love the idea of being able to, you know, help them make a living, put money in their pockets. Um, so, and this is something that I've had to readjust my perspective on a little bit. It seems like my goals are always changing a little bit. If you had asked me this question a year ago, I would have had a different answer. But right now, my main goal is to, like I said, be 100% self sufficient, make a living off of music, and just my goal is to do it independently. Um, I want a team around me that's been handpicked by me, and I want it to all be people who are truly interested in what I'm doing musically and truly who love the music, and are not just doing it for the money. And um, you know, I guess I know this sounds strange probably, but I guess I'm just trying to set my intentions. I'm just trying to put my intentions in the correct place, and I feel like all the other success, whatever that may be, will probably naturally follow that. Um, but but yeah, I know that's kind of a vague answer, uh, but I guess it would just be to make a good living doing it my own way on my own terms, uh, full time, 100% of the time, I guess.
Yeah, no, that's great. And I liked what you said about actually like lining up your intentions first, like making sure
Yeah.
you're going forward with the right pretense of why you're going forward and understanding that. I think that's hugely important to not look back with any, regret or mistakes or anything like that. So yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I guess with you saying that, it makes me think of makes me think too. I want to always make sure that wherever I'm at in my journey with the music stuff, that I always feel like I'm still, you know, serving my purpose. And I'm losing my train of thought here. I don't want to get too sidetracked by the financial side of things in the music industry. I don't want to get greedy. I definitely don't want to get jealous, like I just talked about earlier. I want to have good intentions. I want to live a meaningful life through music, and if I can find a way for all that to come together, then I will be. I wouldn't ask for any more.